Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udiraye Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Nashtaki Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nanda Gopa Kumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha. Thank you everyone for joining us at this Foundation History of Srimad Bhagavatam class. We have absolutely no qualification and definitely no realization to be speaking on Srimad Bhagavatam, such a beautiful and spotless Puran. So whatever I speak, Prabhupada said, purity is force. And whoever is pure, their words have an impact. I am not pure, but by your blessings, I'm going to try and do this as a service to Book Bhagavad and the devotees Bhagavad. Please pray for me, please bless me that I'm able to do this as a service to all of you. But the message of Srimad Bhagavatam is very pure and impactful. So if you just leave my words and my thoughts and just focus on the message, hope it will be a useful time. It will be a useful session for your time spent. So thank you so much. We are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, chapter 27, verse 11. Sorry.
I didn't disconnect. You don't even able to screen share. When you connect it, it's happening something. Screen was already shared. No. Because you disconnected it. No, here I use it as second screen. That's why I can share it. But Zoom में नहीं आ रहा है probably. I'll fix it.
Sorry about the technical difficulties. We're just trying to share the screen so it's easier for everyone. Meanwhile, if you have Srimad Bhagavatam, you can open the third canto, 27th chapter, verse number 11.
Sorry? Yeah. Video on it? Is video on? Yeah. Video is off. Video is off. Giving option for video. You're good.
Muktalingam sadabhasam asati pratipadyate sato bandhum asachakshu sarvanusyutamadvayam Muktalingam sadabhasam asati pratipadyate sato bandhum asachakshu sarvanusyutamadvayam. Anybody would like to recite?
Muktalingam sadavasam
Muktalingam sadabhasam
asati pratipadyate
asati pratipadyate
sato bandhu asachakshu
sada bandhum asachakshu
sarvadukyutamadvayam
sarvanusyutamadvayam. Muktalingam sadabhasam asati pratipadyate sato bandham asachakshu sarvanusyutamadvayam. Word meanings and translation by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki Muktalingam, transcendental. Sat Abhasam, manifest as a reflection. Asati, in the false ego. Pratipadyate, he realizes. Sata Bandhu, the support of the material cause. Asat Chakshu, the eye, revealer of the illusory energy. Sarva Anusyutam, entered into everything. Advayam, without a second. Translation: a liberated soul realizes the absolute personality of Godhead, who is transcendental and who is manifest as a reflection even in the false ego. He is the support of the material cause and he enters into everything. He is absolute, one without a second, and he is the eye of the illusory energy. Purport: a pure devotee can see the presence of the Supreme Personality of Godhead in everything materially manifested. He is present there only as a reflection, but a pure devotee can realize that in the darkness of material illusion, the only light is the Supreme Lord, who is its support. It is confirmed in Bhagavad Gita that the background of the material manifestation is Lord Krishna. And as confirmed in the Brahma Samhita, Krishna is the cause of all causes. In the Brahma Samhita, it is stated that the Supreme Lord, by his partial or plenary expansion, is present not only within this universe and each and every universe, but in every atom, although he is one without a second. The word Advayam, without a second, which is used in this verse, indicates that although the Supreme Personality of Godhead is represented in everything, including the atoms, he is not divided. His presence is everything. His presence in everything is explained in the next verse. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padkamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatham Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Samagana Lalita Shri Vishakhambitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kamsa Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे मुखं करोति वाचालं पंगुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमः श्रीगुरुमूर्ति तारिणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्री चैतन्य। Thank you again, and sorry for the technical difficulties and keeping you all waiting. So we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam 3:27:11. Muktalingam sat abhasam asati pratipadyate sato bandhum asachakshu sarvanusyutam advayam. This is the third canto, 27th chapter, 11th verse. And what is happening here is, it is a conversation. Basically, Kapila is preaching to his mother, Devahuti. And the title of this chapter is Understanding the Material Nature. So we all understand, even from this verse, we understand that the super soul is all pervasive and he has entered into everything. But at the same time, we also need to understand that the Lord is, we should see that the Lord is present everywhere through his energies. Now, somebody, like a simple example to understand that, how do we realize that the sun is there? The sun is millions of miles away, but how do we understand that it is the sun that is present there? And to see that, it is very simple, right? Like today is a cloudy day, little cloudy day. Yesterday was even more cloudy. So when it's cloudy, what is the one element that is generally missing and everybody feels it? Generally, when it is cloudy, there is absence of warmth. So it is cold out there. It is a little cooler. So what do we see? We understand then that when warmth is there, that means sun is there. And obviously, when the sun is not there or the sun is hiding behind the clouds, then there is darkness. When the sun sets, there is darkness. So there is no light. So heat and light are the two properties or the two energies of the sun. So Srimad Bhagavatam, when heat and light are present, we understand that the sun is present. The presence of the energies of the Lord is a proof that the Lord is present. We don't need to see the Lord. We can perceive his presence through his energies. And Srimad Bhagavatam clearly explains that all the energies we see is a manifestation of Krishna. So there's a joke. There was a person who went in a village and he was holding a lantern. And in the night he went there and, he went to one door and he started looking here and there. Then he went to another person's house and he started looking in the courtyard. Like this, he went to each and every house and he was looking. And he was holding his lantern like this and he kept on looking. So the villagers got perplexed. It's night time. What is he looking for? So, simple at heart, the villagers came up to him and said, what are you looking for? Is there something that you have lost? And the person with a very innocent face, he said, yes, My lantern is helping me to find the sun. Yes. जय श्री राधा गोपीचंद वल्लभ भगवान की जय, निताय पतित पावन गौर हरि की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय. So Shreya gave a very shocking reaction. She was like, "What?" So that was the reaction of all the villagers. Like, are you crazy? You're looking for the sun with a lantern in the night? Yes. So that was the thing. It's very funny. It's not a good idea. You don't need to look at the sun with a lantern. When the sun comes out, the sun lights up the whole world. We don't need a lantern to see. So the Lord's energies are present and we can perceive the Lord through its energies, through his energies. We don't need a lantern. We don't need anything to see the Lord per se like that. So now, if we come to this verse talks about how a pure devotee sees the Lord everywhere. So the obvious question should rise in our minds, at least we should think, what is the qualification? How can we see the Lord everywhere? So now if I say how we can see and I give an answer, this doesn't make any sense. We have to have an answer backed up by Shastras. So let us see what the Shastras say, that how a pure devotee can see the Lord everywhere. And that answer comes from Brahma Samhita. One of the answers comes from Brahma Samhita. And what is the answer? Premanjana Churita Bhakti Vilochanena Santa Sadev Hridayeshu Vilokayanti Yam Shama Sundaram Achintya Gunaswarupam Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. The meaning of this verse is, I worship primeval Lord Govinda, who is Sham Sundar, who is Krishna himself, and he is seen in the heart of the devotees, all those devotees whose eyes are anointed by prema, by love. So we can see the Lord. I worship that primeval Lord who is visible in the heart of the devotees through the eyes of love. Right? Easy to say, difficult, very difficult to follow. Very, very difficult to follow. Just if this one point goes in the head, our life is successful. Somehow we have to develop love for Krishna. Then we'll be able to see the Lord in his energies. We will be able to see the Lord in the material world. So that is our prayer. Now, Lord is present everywhere, right? Now, that point also, the Lord is present everywhere. An atheist might say, how do you say Lord is present everywhere, right? You see the case of Hiranyakashipu. He was so arrogant, he was so angry at Prahlad Maharaj when Prahlad Maharaj said, Lord is present, that same Lord Vishnu who has given you strength has given me strength to take his name. But Hiranyakashipu was not in agreement with that. He became so angry. He said, what do you mean by Lord is present everywhere? Is he present in this pillar? And the faith with which Prahlad Maharaj said, yes, he's present in this pillar. The Lord comes down to prove the words of his pure devotee. Because yes, the Lord is present everywhere. Now, how is that proven? Eko pyasaurachayetum jagadanda kotim yachaktirasti jagadanda chayaya danta Andantarastha paramanu chayantarastam Govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami. Andantarastha paramanu chayantarastam. That means the Lord is present in each and every atom of this universe. He is present in every universe, in each and every living being, in each and every atom of this universe. Isn't the Lord so merciful? He doesn't leave us here in this material world. So many times we say we are all alone in this material world. We have nobody. But no. Lord, as our loving Father, we made a mistake. We committed a mistake. We landed in this material world due to our false ego. But the Lord still did not leave us alone. He came with us in this material world. So definitely he is part of each and every atom. So now somebody might say the Lord is present in each and every atom. So does that mean that the Lord has lost his original form? Because there are people who say Lord is present, and how can the Lord be present in every atom? It means the Lord has lost his form. But no, the answer to that question is definitely not. The Lord has not lost his form. And again, how do we back it up with Shastras? From the Ishopanishad, it is said, Om Purnamadam Purnamidam Purna Purnam Udachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Vivashyate. What is the meaning of this? It means that the Lord is present in full. And if a part is in his, and if a part or a plenary portion is taken out, then still the Lord remains full. And the part that is taken out, that is also full. Nothing is lost. And this is, I'm not saying, or nobody else is saying, this is coming from Ishopanishad. So there is nothing like the Lord is lost or his form is lost or anything taken away from the Lord that means the Lord has become small or the Lord's part is lost or whatever is taken out is small or is not full. Lord is always full in his full form. That is one thing we always need to understand. And why we need to understand this is to keep our understanding clear of when we are perceiving the Lord's energies. Like, why do we need to understand this? If we don't understand that anything taken out from the Lord is full and whatever is remaining is also full, we will not be able to appreciate the Lord and his inconceivable potential energies. So coming back to this verse, in this verse, there are 6 attributes, 6 attributes of the Supreme Lord that are mentioned as realized by the pure devotees or the realized souls. Because the word used in this shloka is pratipadyate. Pratipadyate means self-realized. So let's see the 6 attributes of the Lord as mentioned in this shloka. The first one is Mukta Linga. So Mukta Linga. The meaning given in the word meanings is transcendental. Now lingam, ling means something which has a form. The Sanskrit meaning of ling is something which has a form, something which is bounded by a body. There is a bondage, like we are in a physical body, but the Lord is Mukta Lingam. Mukta Lingam means he is not bound by a physical body. He is transcendental. His body is transcendental. That is the meaning of Mukta Lingam. The second attribute here mentioned is Sat Abhasam. Now, Abhas means something which is a reflection, a dim reflection of the reality, something which is not there, but a dim reflection, and something which is not original, but it is a reflection of the original. And in this verse, the phrase comes, Sat Abhasam Asati. Now, what is Asat? Asat means false ego. Asat means something which is not real, false ego. So Asati means false ego. So in the previous chapter, what did we see? The previous chapter was very technical, where how the material elements, they all came together and this material manifestation was originally created. Now in that chapter also we read that how the different stages was actually manifestation of false ego. Now, for example, false ego, how it comes with contact of different modes and different things come up. Like, for example, if we see false ego coming in contact with mode of goodness or sattva gun, what is created? Mind is created. False ego, when it comes in contact with passion or rajogun, what is created? Intelligence is created. And finally, false ego, when it comes in contact with tamogun or mode of ignorance, our senses are created. So how false ego comes in contact with different modes, different things are created. But still, the Lord is so merciful that he manifests as a reflection even in false ego. He is present, Sat Abhasam. He is not present in his original form, but he is present as a reflection. So, this is what Sat Abhasam, the second attribute that is seen by the pure devotees. The third attribute that is mentioned here is Sata Bandhu. This is easy to understand. Bandhu means friend, and Sata Bandhu means the support of the material cause. So a friend is one who supports, who's there for us. So the Lord is Sata Bandhu. That means he is the support of this material cause. He is there. It is the Supreme Lord who supports the material creation. Then Asat Chakshu, the fourth attribute, Asat Chakshu, easy, 2 words. Asat Chakshu. Chakshu means eyes. Asat means false ego. Asat means illusory energy. So in the translation, Srila Prabhupada translates Asat Chakshu as the revealer of the illusory energy. So if we see pure devotees, for him, the Lord is revealed. The pure devotees can make out what is Asat, what is Sat, what is material, what is spiritual, what is Krishna, what is Maya. Otherwise, for people like me, I'm always in material level only, always thinking, always bound by Asat. So, but for pure devotee, for realized souls, the Lord makes it very, very clear. They can make it out. Then the fifth attribute, very important attribute, which is Sarva Anusyutam. That means, Anusyutam means entered into. Sarva means everything. So the Lord, out of his causeless mercy, has entered into everything. Now, to understand this more clearly, if we see is how does the Lord enters into everything? We all know about the 3 Vishnus. So let's see the 3 Vishnus. What are the 3? How does the Lord enter into everything? So what does the Lord do? We all know about this, right? Mahavishnu is lying on the Karana ocean, and from his body, from his breathing, from his pores, universes are being manifested and universes are being annihilated. And that is how the Lord is manifesting this whole cosmic creation. And then again, in each universe, the Lord himself personally enters as Garbhodakshai Vishnu. And there he creates all the planetary systems. And after entering all the, in each and every universe as Garbhodakshai Vishnu, then also the Lord's mercy does not end. The Lord doesn't leave us. He enters as Shirodakshai Vishnu, as Paramatma in our heart. In each and every living entity, in each and every atom of each and every universe, of each and every entity, the Lord enters as Shirodakshai Vishnu. So this picture very clearly explains that is Lord Krishna. This is Mahavishnu lying on the Karana ocean, and this is Garbhodakshai Vishnu. And if you see carefully, inside each universe, there is Garbhodakshai Vishnu, and then inside each atom, there is Shirodakshai Vishnu, which is Paramatma in our heart. The sixth attribute, again, very important. So after understanding Sarva Anusyutam, we go on to Advayam. The meaning of Advayam is without a second. There is nobody, anybody knows the name of Krishna? That means no one is superior to him and no one is equal to him. What is the meaning? What is that name that defines Krishna by these attributes? Yes, Prabhuji, thank you. So that is the meaning. Asamodva, that means the Lord is, nobody is superior to him and nobody is equal to him. So what does this imply? This implies everybody is lower than him. And that is what we all are. Nobody can become equal to the Lord. Nobody can become superior to the Lord, because the Lord, everyone is below the Lord. And so there is no competition for the Lord, right? Another meaning of Advayam is something which is not divisible, which cannot be divided. This point is very important to understand because there is a set of philosophers who believe that the Lord created this material world, and after creation, he got divided into what he created. So the Lord lost his original form. So, the example that they give is like, supposing this paper, if I tear this paper, this is a rectangular sheet of paper, right? Now, if I tear this paper and I break it into more smaller pieces, what will be visible? The original paper is lost. Smaller pieces will be visible, right? So according to those set of philosophers, the Lord is exactly like that. But their understanding is clear. It is correct. But in the case of paper, this understanding is absolutely incorrect in the case of the Supreme Lord. And it's not very difficult to understand that. Like, how can they say that the Lord created something and the Lord got divided? So that means if we talk about this material world, a father comes in this world, eventually he begets children, and now he has, like, supposing 5-6 children. So the father has lost his identity and he is all those children. Does that happen like that? The father is still there. The children are there, but the father is also there. So if for a simple living entity, that theory does not stand true, then how is it possible that that theory stands true for the Supreme Lord? It is not possible. So that theory is completely wrong. And even if we say, if we see in the case of this pastime of Lord Krishna, how Krishna comes as Krishna in that pastime, how Krishna was present in each and every palace in the 16,108 queens' palaces. Krishna was present in his form and he was performing various activities. And then when it was eventually time to go to the assembly hall, to the Sudharma assembly hall, all the Krishnas would come out in the corridor. All Krishnas are coming out in the corridor. They would become into one, and that one Krishna would head towards the Sudharma assembly hall, perform the, as the kingly duties. And then again, when the duties are finished, again, he comes in the hall, divides, expands himself. The better word would be expands himself into individual 16,108 forms and goes into individual queens' palaces, and the queens serve him as a regular householder. Possible, right? Because that's the Lord. And again, this is mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam in the 10th canto. Anybody wants to refer, they can refer. Now, the same potency, the same display of potency, not only was exhibited by Krishna, this was also exhibited by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. How? Just now, yesterday was the last day of Rath Yatra, right? So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, what did he do? He expanded himself into 7 Sankirtan parties. He was dancing in each Sankirtan party, 4 Sankirtan parties in front, 2 on the side, 1 at the back. And Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he was present in each and every Sankirtan party. And this manifestation of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was seen by Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. It was seen by Maharaj Prataparudra. And when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted to dance together, he merged all the 7 parties, and again, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu emerged as one. So this is manifestation of Supreme Lord, and this is beautifully described in Chaitanya Charitamrita. So he is Advayam, he is Sarv Anusuyitam. That means he cannot be divided. He is present in everything. Now coming back to how the pure devotees, they see the Lord. They see the Lord in this material world. So pure devotees, first of all, how the pure devotees see this material world. The pure devotees see this material world as darkness, complete darkness. Now, somebody might say, why darkness? Light is there, electricity is there, everything is there. Why darkness? So yes, you are right. Light is there, electricity is there, but there is a difference of vision. There is a difference between a pure soul, a realized soul, and a mundane person. And the difference of the thinking here is they understand, yes, light is there, electricity is there, but what is missing is permanency. It is all temporary. This is the difference. This material world is temporary. It is not false, but it is temporary. And what is the one point is why is it temporary? Because all the living entity, why is it temporary? Why is it illusory? Is because all the living entities are engaged in self-gratification process. I'm talking to myself here. Always engaged in self-gratification, some way or the other. Now, somebody might think, what is darkness? How do you refer to darkness in this material world? So any activity which is bereft of Krishna consciousness, any activity that is bereft of Krishna consciousness, that is illusory. And any devotion, anything, any activity done as a service to the Lord is Krishna consciousness. That is light. And without Krishna consciousness is darkness or mode of ignorance. So we all know that Lord is reciprocal. The Lord says in Bhagavad Gita, right? That shloka in 4th chapter, Ye yatha mam prapadyate, tams tathaiva bhajamyaham, mama vartman vartante, manushya partha sarvasha. What is the meaning? As all surrender unto me, I reward them accordingly. So everyone follows my path in all respects, O son of Pritha. So the Lord is very, very reciprocal. The pure devotees understand. Why this point that I'm trying to bring up is here is the pure devotees understand that in this material world, the Lord is a reflection in his material energies. But just understanding the Lord is not present in his original form, does that stop the pure devotees from doing their duties? Absolutely not. Somebody might say, "Arey, the material world में क्या है? Enjoy, खाओ पियो, enjoy करो, जाओ यहाँ से. बचपन enjoy करो, youth enjoy करो, आगे की life enjoy करो, कल किसने देखा?" This is the common line that comes. कल किसने देखा है? लोगों ने देखा है. That is not a statement to make because you have not seen doesn't mean kal kisi ne nahi dekha. You have not seen tomorrow. So there is life. The material world is there for us to fulfill our duties, and that is what pure devotees do. And what is our duty? Our duty is to serve the Lord. Serve the Lord with our full heart, full devotion. And why? Because the Lord says, I reciprocate how you serve me. I am there. Ye yatha mam prapadyate. I am there. I am there for you and I will reward you accordingly. So we have to do our part. Now, let's see, there's a very, how the Lord reciprocates and how, somebody might say how the Lord reciprocates, we don't know. Why you don't know? Because you're not reading Shastra. I'm talking to myself because I'm not reading Shastra. I don't know because I have not read the Shastra. Doesn't mean it is not there. So if we see Chaitanya Charitamrita is full of interactions of pure devotees with the Lord. So anybody knows a very intimate devotee of the Lord? And in the car I was talking and Sri Gopal Prabhu gave a very nice statement. So I'll just quote that statement. Who was that one devotee whom Chaitanya Mahaprabhu always listened to? Swarup Damodar Goswami. So if we see Swarup Damodar Goswami, when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took sannyas, Swarup Damodar Goswami was also present in Navadvip. And Swarup Damodar Goswami, along with all the other devotees, they were shattered. Because they knew now, their life was spent. Every day they would sing for hours and hours, do Sankirtan. But now they could see the impeding danger, the impeding situation where they would not get association of Mahaprabhu, because sannyasi means he will not stay in one place. He has to give up his not give up his life, but give up his material comforts. He has to move around like a mendicant. So Swarup Damodar Goswami was very, very disturbed. And what he decides, let me also take sannyas. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he took sannyas from Keshav Bharati, and Swarup Damodar Goswami, he was like, let me also take sannyas so that I can spend time with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So this is a very nice conversation that happens in Chaitanya Charitamrita. I don't know if we have time to read, but we can try at least a few verses. You know why I'm bringing this point of Swarup Damodar Goswami is how Swarup Damodar Goswami, as a pure devotee, he completely surrendered himself to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. After Chaitanya Mahaprabhu completes his South India tour, he comes back to Jagannath Puri. There, Swarup Damodar Goswami goes and humbles himself completely and says to the Lord, my Lord, I left you to take sannyas, but you, out of your causeless mercy, you did not leave me. So we'll read that conversation. Aradine Aila Swarup. Everybody can read if they want. Aradine Aila Swarup Damodar Prabhure Atyanta Marmi Rasera Sagar. So Swarup Damodar also arrived the next day. He was a very intimate friend of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and he was an ocean of transcendental mellows. So this verse describes the qualities, the characteristics of Swarup Damodar Goswami. Ocean of transcendental mellows. So nicely we say, right? It's a flowy language, transcendental mellows. If sometime we have some time and we sit back and we read this passage, this conversation of Swarup Damodar Goswami, I can guarantee you, it will give you goosebumps. It's so sweet. Purushottam Acharya Tanre Nama Purvashrame Navadvipachina Tene Prabhura Charane. So in his Purvashram, that means in his normal ashram, before he took sannyas, his name was Purushottam Acharya. When Swarup Damodar was residing in Navadvip under the shelter of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, his name was Purushottam Acharya. Chaitanyananda Guru Tara Agyan Dilina Tara Vedanta Padiya Padao Samasta Lokera. So in this verse, the name of the Guru of Swarup Damodar Goswami is mentioned, whom he takes sannyas from, Chaitanyananda Bharati. He takes sannyas from Chaitanyananda Bharati, and he stays there and serves him and studies. And after many years of studying, the Guru gives him instructions. Read the Vedanta Sutra and teach it to others. So, going forward, Parama Virakta Tena Parama Pandita Kaya Mane Ashriyecha Shri Krishna Charita. Swarup Damodar was Param Virakta, great renunciate, and Param Pandita. He was a great learned scholar. Actually, further it would be, I don't know if I wrote that verse, but anybody who wanted to recite something in front of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, glorify something in front of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did not like rasabhas, So anything, if you are mixing things, if your philosophy is not clear, there is some concoction, or you're not saying the things in a clear way, Mahaprabhu did not like it. So there was a screening, and that screening happened through Swarup Damodar Goswami. Swarup Damodar Goswami would read, when he would approve, then it would go to the ears of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would not hear anything and everything. It was through Swarup Damodar Goswami that it would come. This was my favorite, I would say. Panditera Vidhi Vakya Nahi Karo Sane Nirajan Rahe Loka Sab Nahi Jane. Swarup Damodar was the limit of all learned scholarship, but he did not exchange words with anyone. He simply remained in a solitary place and no one could understand where he was. He was a scholar to the limit. Now I'm talking to myself. If I know this was a this thing that came in my head, if I know this much also, my tendency is I'm going to go and speak to the children. You should know. You should know. And I am trying to convince myself I am teaching the children. How can I teach the children? They are already elevated. I know this much, but I'm going to teach the children. Look at Swarup Damodar because that's my false ego speaking. I want to tell the children. I know this. I know this. You should also know. Come. In the guise of service, I am doing this. When I read this verse, it was like a slap on my face. What am I doing? Swarup Damodar Goswami, he knew so much, but he did not exchange words. Exchange words means he did not prove his scholarship to others. He was happy where he was. In a secluded place, he was reciting and saying, serving the Lord. Why? And so this proves Swarup Damodar was a Goswami and not a Godas. What is the qualification to become a Goswami? Anybody remembers the first verse of Nectar of Instruction, Vachavegam? You can read. Vachavegam.
Commands is action figure and then something belly tongue.
Yeah, urge of belly, genitals and tongue. Yes. Vachavegam, manasa, krodha vegam, jiva vegam, udaropastha vegam, etan vegan yu vishehe tadhira, sarvam apimam prithvim sashishyat. That means a sober person who can tolerate the urge to speak, the mind's demands, the actions of anger, and the urges of the tongue, belly, and genitals is qualified to make disciples all over the world. And Swarup Damodar Goswami lived this verse. He was perfect to make disciples. That is a different story that he remained a Naishtika Brahmachari and he did not wear a saffron dress because he did not want to show his scholarship. But he was great and he was a pure devotee. So Krishna Rasa Tattva Veta Deha Prema Rupa Sakshat Mahaprabhure Dvitiya Swarupa. Sri Swarup Damodar was the personification of ecstatic love, fully cognizant of the transcendental mellows in relationship with Krishna. He directly represented Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as his second expansion. And then it's this verse, if someone wrote a book or composed verses that I was talking about, it was screened through Swarup Damodar Goswami. And he did his study. So Swarup Vidyapati Chandidasa Shri Gita Govinda Eitena Gita Karna Prabhura Ananda. That means Sri Swarup Damodar used to read the poems of Vidyapati and Chandidas. And he used to read Geet Govind by Jayadev Goswami. He used to make Chaitanya Mahaprabhu very happy by singing these songs. So he was an expert musician. He was as good as the Gandharvas. He was expert in scriptural descriptions like Lord Brahaspati, the priest of the heavenly gods. Therefore, it is to be concluded that there was no great personality quite like Swarup Damodar. Shri Swarup Damodar was very dear to Advaita Acharya and Nityanand Prabhu, and he was the life and soul of all devotees headed by Srivas Thakur. Now comes that verse. Se Damodar asi dandavat haila charane padiya shloke padita lagila. When Swarup Damodar came to Jagannath Puri, he fell flat before the lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, offering him obeisances and reciting a verse. Now this verse is 10 point, this is from Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Leela, 10th chapter, 119th verse. Very nice verse. Oh Krishna, it's already 9:50. I will read it. I will just read the translation. O ocean of mercy, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, let there be an awakening of your auspicious mercy, which easily drives away all kinds of material lamentation by making everything pure and blissful. Indeed, Your mercy awakens transcendental bliss and covers all material pleasures. By your auspicious mercy, quarrels and disagreements arising among different scriptures are vanquished. Your auspicious mercy pours forth transcendental mellows and thus causes the heart to jubilate. Your mercy, which is full of joy, always stimulates devotional service and glorifies conjugal love of God. May transcendental bliss be awakened within my heart by your causeless mercy. Such a nice verse. If we recite this every day in front of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, I'm sure because it's written and it is composed by such a great devotee, it is going to have an impact in our heart also. So now Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Tumi ye asibe aji swapneta dekhila bhala haile andhayena duvi netra paila. Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, I saw in a dream that you were coming. And so this is very auspicious. I have been like a blind man, but your coming here restores my vision. This is the Supreme Lord talking for a pure devotee. We were talking about reciprocation. What more reciprocation? The Lord himself is saying that it is very auspicious that you came. So many times we have heard, right? When we go in front, do service, like you don't want to see the Lord wants to see you. So here, see, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying it is very auspicious that you have come. Without you, I was like a blind man. The Lord wants to see Swarup Damodar Goswami. That should be our aim, that the Lord wants to see us. We want to see the Lord is there, but work for the Lord, work for the pleasure of the Lord in such a way that the Lord wants to see us. Now, see the surrender and devotion of Swarup Damodar Goswami. Swarupa kahe Prabhu mora shama aparadha toma chadiya netra genu karino pramada. Swarup said, my dear Lord, please excuse my offense. I gave up your company to go elsewhere, and that was my mistake. In the mind, Swarup Damodar Goswami went, he goes to Banaras, he goes to Varanasi to take sannyas, but he left Mahaprabhu, right? The reason of his taking sannyas was so that he can serve Mahaprabhu. But still, what is he feeling? Mahaprabhu, I left you and I went. That was a great offense that I did. Tomara charana mora nahi prema lesha, tomara chadi papi muni genu anya desha. My dear Lord, I do not possess even a trace of love for your lotus feet. If I did, how could I have gone to another country? I am therefore a most sinful man. Muni toma chadila, mura na chadila. Kripa pashe gale bandi charana anila. Yeah, so this is the same one. But you didn't, I gave up your, sorry, this is the next one. I gave up your company, but you did not give up on me. By your rope of mercy, you have bound me by the neck and brought me back again to your lotus feet. This is what he is composing and saying to Mahaprabhu in Jagannath Puri. Tabe swarupa kaila nitara charana vandana Nityananda Prabhu Kaila Prema Alingana. Swarup Damodar then worshipped the lotus feet of Nityanand Prabhu, and Nityanand Prabhu in turn embraced him in the ecstasy of love. So, if we come back to our verse, we understand that the Lord is present as a mere reflection, but that does not mean that the Lord is not present. We have to do our part. Like what does, when we are doing our japa, we all know there are 3 stages of japa. If we are not doing japa, we are always in the material world. That is a proven statement. So Prabhupada said 99% of our spiritual life depends on japa. Anybody who is fooling themselves, they're actually, Prabhupada said you're fooling yourself. You're worse than a rascal if you're not chanting the Lord's name in a specific number. Your specific number of rounds have to be done on your beats. Beyond that, you can do whatever you want to do. But every day you have to chant your rounds. And we understand, at least I understand, I'm not chanting pure name, I'm not chanting Shuddhana. There are 3 stages of chanting, right? The aparadha state, then there is the what is that stage? The mirror stage, Namabhas stage. I don't know why I said Rasabha. Namabhas stage, and then the Shuddha Nam. So our aim is to go to the Shuddha Nam. But does that mean, I cannot chant Shuddha Nam, so I will not chant? No. Just if we see the analogy, the Lord is, in one sense, Namabhas is a reflection of the pure stage, reflection of the pure name, right? But somebody, just like the Lord is present in a reflection in this material world, still he is so merciful to his devotees. So even chanting in the Namabhas stage, even taking the Lord's name in the Namabhas stage, still what do you call that? Byproduct. The byproduct is liberation. Even in Namabhas stage, if we are chanting, that we shouldn't aim for Namabhas stage. We shouldn't take it for granted. We should aim for Shuddha Nam, where we are totally with our full focus and full heart, we are calling out to the Lord. But even if we are doing Namabhas chanting, still the byproduct is liberation, byproduct is mukti. But for devotees, the aim is Shuddha Nam, because our aim is love of God. Our aim is not mukti. Mukti is a byproduct. It will come anyways if we are doing our part. And I am not saying that this statement is spoken by Haridas Thakur in the house of those two Majumdar brothers. I forgot their names. So this is what we need to understand. And in the end, what all remains with us is our holy name. What all remains with us is the mercy of the devotees. And as Prabhupada said, this is my favorite: chant and be happy. Prabhupada didn't say chant and be sad. Let us chant and be happy. Let us all happily chant, because that is what our process is all about. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Let us aim that one day we are going to chant with our full heart, with our full love, and call out to the Lord by the mercy of the devotees, and not stay entangled in this material world. But till the time we are, let us do our duties with giving our fruits to the Lord, focusing on the service of the Lord. Thank you so much. Sorry for going over time. If there are many corrections, please guide me. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
SriGaurangi Mataji ki
Jai Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Yes. Yes.
End session. And